Hello again, this is Mark from Suffolk Island and Saltmarsh, and this is an Elizabethan 23, which is up for a refit with Wildway Boats. So let's meet up with Mark and see what he's got to say about it. Please like and subscribe. And action!
Good day.
Hello, Mark.
Hello, Mark.
Right, hello, Mark. Back at Wildway Boats.
Yep.
Let me zoom out so I can get the whole of you in it. Yeah. So, right, this is the reservation, and Mark has got to talk us around it because that's got a lot of history to this boat. So, anyway, go on, Mark. Tell us about the reservation.
Well, it's just reservation, and it's a Elizabethan 23, a well-built, well-found little sailing boat. And it was previously owned by quite a famous writer called Jim Mottram. And Jim Mottram used to write for Yachting Monthly, I think he wrote for. And he documented quite a lot of his adventurous trips around Britain. He's been around Britain 3 times, and he went around the outside of Ireland, and he's been down through the Bay of Biscay and down to Spain a couple of times, I think.
We're all in this little boat?
All in this little 23-foot boat, yeah. And
yeah.
He sailed until he was 83 years old, so he really is a hell of a guy, and was a hell of a guy, and something to aspire to. But so I bought the boat recently, and it needs quite a bit of work really to bring it back into service again. Obviously, when he was 83, maintenance was a bit of an issue, so we're now looking at not a full refit, but a decent refit really. So I've had to take the engine out, just getting the anti-foul off, and needle gun in the keel, getting the keel back, and yeah, the engine looks like it may not be viable, but we're going to have a look at it. Like, but,
yeah.
I'll put a decent second hand one in, but yeah, so there we are, and this is Jim's Liz 23.
So what have you done to it so far? I can see you're painted the top of the hull.
Yeah, I just got a bit of paint, flattened the hull down, got a bit of paint on there, but it needs a bit more flattening and some more layers building up.
And then the here we go. This is the which has got to be anti-fouled.
Yeah.
So what have you done to this, Mark?
Well, I just scraped all the layers of anti-foul off, but it feels like underneath there he had put like an epoxy gel shield on underneath which to cover the boat up, so
right.
Which is fantastic. You know, it helps to prevent osmosis. So
yeah,
it seems to me like that's what it is underneath there, like a gel shield. So that's good. I'll just flat that down, key that up a bit, but I'm going to put a copper anti-foul on anyway, which is another epoxy resin. So again, that's another protective layer for the bottom of the boat.
Yeah.
And you only have to do that once every 7 years if it works.
Right.
So it's not always 100%, but hopefully mine will be the one that does work, and I don't have to do it again for another 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, so that's that. So if you want to come round to the back,
yeah,
you can see the back.
That's what we'll do.
Or the stern, as they call it.
Yeah. Right then.
Yeah, so this is the stern of Reservation.
Yeah.
And it's quite unique, as on the stern of this boat, Jim cut it out, recessed it, and put a wooden transom in there. But it's got a fiberglass layer behind it, but he put a wooden transom on this boat. And as far as I know, it's the only Liz 23 with a wooden transom. I might be wrong.
Let me just get around the other side of this so we can get a picture from a distance. There you go. Yes, you can see it better like that. That does look a treat. And you got as far as getting the. You got the name on then?
Yeah, I'm trying to paint the name back on there, but obviously, as I'm not a sign painter person, I've cut it out of vinyl, and I'm just using it as a template to paint it on there.
Oh yeah.
But that's as far as I've got, so I'll need to revisit that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks a treat.
Yeah, it's a beautiful little boat. Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking. Oh, you don't look very bright in there. You don't look very bright most of the time.
Big ask.
Yeah, hang on. I'll get somewhere else. There we go. That's better. I can see your.
Beady eyes.
Your what?
Beady eyes.
Beady eyes, I've got to say sculptured features, but no, I can't. So anyway, and we're talking about this boat, you and I have talked about this boat in the past, and he, the owner, he did quite a lot on this, didn't he? Sort of like little bits and pieces of his own.
Yeah, well, he was originally he was a shipwright, so and I think he started off working out of Lowestoft, I think, on maybe around the Broads area. So woodwork was his thing. So he's put a lot of detail into obviously the deck and the cockpit and bits and pieces. So
yeah,
yeah, it's all in hardwood teak, I suppose. It was back then.
So how much of this wood is original, and how much has he done? For instance, these the top of the deck here.
Yeah.
I believe the piece around the top here was as an extra, isn't it?
I think most of the wood on here is an extra. I think that it was just really the mouldings, because a lot of these Liz 23s were completed at home. So
right.
People would be buying the bare mouldings and finishing them off. So most of the wood on this would have been done by Jim.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. So it's quite a unique little boat. I mean, he's done a lovely job with it. But it's just really tired now and just needs to be brought back again. So
Right, so okay. So that's it. You sit there now. So right, you see, what have you've been obviously doing a lot in it, as you can see by the tools. I think you had the engine out then.
Engine out.
Yeah. What's the? Tell us about the engine then.
Well, it's quite corroded all around the place, and I just wanted to make sure that it was worth keeping. So, but at the very least, I was going to take it out, sandblast it, service it, and paint it and put it back in again. But I don't know at the minute if it's worth going back in again. Or whether or not just to get a good second-hand one and put that in instead, paint that one up and put it in. So I'm just in the process of deciding that at the minute. But I wanted to get the engine out anyway, so that I could address all of the wiring's a bit iffy, and all of the oil that's leaked underneath it in the engine bay. So I wanted to be able to check all that, and there's so little room on these boats. The engine just about fits in there. There's no way you would get around it and have a look behind it and that sort of thing, and so it's so much easier to take the engine out. So I've done that, take the engine out, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit longer rather than trying to get her in for this season, and I'm going to have the thing, I'm going to rewire the boat and sort out the headlining and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
And change all the lights over to LED lighting, and yeah. So rather than just fudging it up and chucking it back in quick, I thought I'll do it properly. Yeah. So the next stage, now I've got the engine out, I'm going to have a friend look at it and see what he thinks, but I think we'll probably end up just getting a good second hand one. And then I'm going to start cleaning all this out, removing what's rubbish, and move on to rewiring. Like, you know, I don't think that radio is probably necessary anymore.
No,
there's probably a newer version of that. A newer one.
Yeah.
A newer version of that.
Yeah.
So I'll remove that, and you know, like the Echo Pilot. You know, I'm sure we could do that better.
I think he obviously sort of put lots and bits and bobs in.
Yeah.
Of his own. But I think people do that, don't they? They sort of decide what they want and sort of add bits and pieces, don't they?
No, he sort of, you know, he mended and made do, didn't he? You know, like people of that generation did, you know. So
yeah, sounds like the tea is up.
Yeah.
So we'll go and have a look at the teapot. As you can see, that's all lovely and original. Yeah, it's just a lovely little boat. So what we're going to do is, while I'm working on the fine line, Marcus will be working on this, and we thought that what we'd do is we'd get the both boats in the barn together side by side, and then we got a bit of company, because however much you enjoy doing the job and wanting to get it right, if you're on your own, that can become extremely tedious and hard work, and you begin to wonder, well, what you're doing it for. So to be able to do these together and lend each other a hand when necessary is going to be really good. But there you go, this is the start of the renovation, and we'll come back to it later in the year. I'll just show you what we're up to outside as far as getting my boat going in as well. Anyway, this is my trailer I'm getting in, and you can see we've got it right next to the reservation. So this is where the fine line is going to go, and then Mark and myself, we can work on both of them at once. And as we get on with them, then we'll get some more film of both the projects, and then of course we'll get some film of them going in and sail on them, hopefully. But that could be a long way down the line.
I don't think this has ever been done.
So what's that you're using there, Mark?
It's an air chisel or an air hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're going to try and, well, you're going to do more than try. You're going to get that.
Yeah, I'm taking the shell off of the keel that obviously has fluffed right up and it hasn't been done for a very long time. So I need to get all the shell off it so that I can then...
From machine, Martin, is it?
No, it's eBay, I think.
Huh?
eBay, I think.
Alright, yeah.
So I can get all the shell off, and then I'll use a rust converter to seal it, and then I'll epoxy the keel in, and hopefully that'll be done for my time with the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're hoping to do that once then?
Once. Yes. And luckily it's a very small keel.
Yeah.
And this is a needle gun.
Yeah.
And this needles.
Is that
Pretty little boat.
yeah.